Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Combs. I am going to talk a little bit about the study guide for Chapter 2 test. Next week, which is HCTC spring break, I'm going to ask you to take Test 2. I'd like for you to take it by Thursday morning, and I would like to come and get that test either Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, or Friday. So I'd like for you to take the test on Thursday by noon. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday by noon, and then I'll come in the afternoon and get it, or come on Friday. Also, we're not going to have time to talk about the study guide in class because we've missed several days due to inclement weather and other things. So I thought I would just talk to you a little bit about the study guide in a video series, okay? So let's look at number 1. It says, the following table shows the number of bands that perform at a small music festival each year. Draw a graph representing the data and use it to determine if the growth is linear, exponential, or logistic. Okay, so what I have here is a list of years. So 2008 is the first year that the festival was put on, and then 2010 is the third year, 2012 is the fifth year, and so on. So I'm going to use 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 instead of the years. And then the other column shows the number of bands who attended, or the number of bands that attended. So the first year I had 4 bands attend. So I'm going to put a dot right there. The third year I had 6 bands attend. So I'm going to put a dot there. The fifth year I had 9 bands attend. So there goes a dot. The 7th year, I had 14 bands attend. So we can see right now it's not looking very linear to me. The 9th year, I had 21 bands attend. And the 11th year, I had 32 bands attend. So as you can see, this is not linear. It's actually kind of curved, right? So let's think about this for a minute. We have 3 types of growth. We have linear, we have exponential, and we have logistic. So, linear growth, if you remember, is constant growth. So basically, linear growth is represented by a straight line. Exponential growth is growth that there's 2 ways to think about linear growth. One is that exponential growth. One is that exponential growth starts out slow, and then as time goes on, it gets something that's growing exponentially begins to grow more rapidly as time goes on. So it starts out slow, and then it grows more quickly. Also, exponential growth happens when the growth is based on a proportion or a percent of the previous population. Okay? So as the population gets larger, the growth gets quicker because there are more members of the population. And then logistic growth is growth that would start out linear, but based on environmental factors, logistic growth sort of tapers off after a while, because logistic growth usually happens when we think about populations of animals. And what happens is you get to an area, or there is an area where the environment can't sustain exponential growth. The environment can't sustain growing and growing and growing without limits. So there's something called a carrying capacity. And when the population reaches that carrying capacity, then you'll start to see the population decline, just because there's not really a lot of resources left. So, which does this, the growth in this chart look more like? Exponential. You're exactly right. So this is exponential growth. All right, let's look at the second question. It says the sales of Al's Toy Barn grow according to the recursive formula Pn equals P sub n minus 1 plus 3,000, with initial sales P sub 0 equaling $40,000. Find the sales for the next 2 years using the recursive formula. Okay, the sales of Al's Toy Barn grow according to the recursive formula Pn equals P to the n minus 1 plus 3,000, with initial sales P sub 0 equals 40,000. If I already said that, I'm sorry. I had to go and teach class, and I'm back recording. But anyway, find the sales for the next 2 years using the recursive formula. So for P sub 1, I'm going to do P sub 0 plus 3,000. So P sub 0 is 40,000. And then I'm going to add 3,000 to that. So that's actually 43,000. All right, now P sub 2 is going to be 43,000, or P sub 1 plus 3,000. And that's 46,000. All right, part B says find an explicit formula for P sub n. An explicit formula, remember, is one that we can use where we don't have to know the previous time period's value in order to find the value for this time period. So this is a linear growth model because I'm just adding a constant. So remember that a linear growth model is P sub n is equal to P sub 0 plus D times n, where D is the common difference, and usually we could use some values to find the common difference. We don't have to. The common difference is basically just the constant that is added each time period, and ours is 3,000. So this is P sub n here is going to be 40,000 plus 3,000 times n. So that's the explicit formula. Now it says to use this formula to predict the store's sales in 7 years. So that's going to be P sub 7, and that's 40,000 plus 3,000 times 7. Or that's 40,000 plus 21,000, or 61,000 if you use the calculator. And I'm going to erase that. Alright, 61,000. Now it says, what will the, when will the store's sales reach 94,000? Well, I'm going to put 94 in place of P sub n, and then I'm going to find out what n is. So 94,000 is equal to 40,000 plus 3,000 times n. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 40,000 from both sides. So that's going to give me 54,000. And that's going to be equal to 3,000 n. And then I'm going to divide by 3,000. And 54,000 divided by 3,000 is going to be 18. And that's n. So when will the store's sales reach 94,000? In 18 years. All right. So watch the next video for help with the problem 3 and so on.